It's been a while again, but hopefully I will be getting back to a weekly videos here coming soon. But in this video, I did finish a sketchbook that I was working on. It's been I think 2 years, just because these was more like my free arts classes like online that I would always take. So it took me forever to finish this sketchbook. I got this one on Amazon, and the pages was kind of like a smooth paper and very thin, and I wasn't really a fan of it, so that's why it was a designated art ones. And then these I made with homemade paper and I stitched them. We will get to that afterwards because I kind of have a little rant and kind of like a plus and a minus of the homemade paper. So we will get to that and another homemade sketchbook that I made that I haven't started yet, but I wanted to show you. So let's get into this one. So I did do like a little test page. And overall it did, like, even though the paper did seem like thin, it did kind of work. Like, I had like inks, a homemade ink marker, let's see, color pencils, gouache, watercolors, and other than like the homemade ink, it went through. Other than that, it didn't really, well, it was a oil-based paint marker that also went through. But other than that, everything else, not really. But I wasn't really a fan. Like, you see like the shadow of it. But anyways, this was Sketchbook Revival, I think what it's called. I think it was 2 years ago. It was different classes that different teachers that taught. Well, not teachers, but different people that taught. So this was the name, and it was like a routine type of thing. Let's see, draw every day, kickstart your creative routine. So it was more like work your art muscles, make art pretty much every day, even if it's sketching while you're drinking your coffee, having breakfast. There's a lot of people that will sketch their breakfast, so it's at least a art every day. I know I probably just said all of them words just over again. This was mark making, plans. This was a art exercise that you just like scribbled with a whole bunch of different colors with that. And you can fill it in, or you can do more stuff to this. This was just the first try of, I'm trying to see if it had a music without words or like a different language. That's what it was. So like, listen to music, not really caring what you do, you just made art. Like, it doesn't have to be hard. This one, I closed eyes halfway. Last halfway was more of a neuro in my head. So like, I scribbled it with my eyes closed, and the other parts, the other half, I think I opened it, and then I turned it all neuro, and then I colored it. I really enjoy this. It's very more like keeping your hands busy, relaxing, no stressful. Like, you can't do anything wrong with it. This was with music, so this was like almost like the before, and then I narrowed it, and then this is what it would look like. Different music. Let's see, this was small and sweet. I don't know, if you can pause it, you could probably read it. It was different, like, key points that they made in the little lesson. This is workshop week 2023. So this was planner doodles. I always wanted to do like a bullet journaling, like doodle planner, but then I kind of get overwhelmed. I want to make it because I don't have something going on every day, but then at the same time, if I have appointments, then I have to do like a whole year's writing down, and it takes a while to do it. So I just kind of just buy like the cheap planners in like that. This was a fun sticky note card. So like they made like a sticky notes, and then they made it like lighter and make it like a notepad. It was cute. This is a visual journal. So on trips, like I think she took a trip and she ended up doing the bridge. The weather was that. She ended up seeing this. This was another picture. I don't think I was actually in frame. No, it's probably better. So like these was different areas that she saw and then that she drew, but she did it in her journal. So when she looks back, this was a trip that she took, and I thought it was really a cute idea. Like, and then she also wrote down like the different sights, the sounds. So that was one thing. Different hand style, like different ways to write, fonts, whatever. Another like little simple planning. I think this was like planner doodles that if you can draw these simple shapes, then you can draw these. So like it was just broken down into small, simple ones. Doesn't have to be detailed, but this was a planner idea that I would have done like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But again, this took a while just for one page, and to do it's 51 other times, it would take a while. So it looks cute, and I did like shimmery markers. I don't know if you could see it, but it's really pretty in person and simple. Like anyone can do it. Like this is a good idea for like your self-care, like little like maybe check off, maybe like a weekly one that you can make sure you do it, journal or read your goals. It could be a good idea. This was, I think, a gouache class. I don't know. I really liked it. I like sunflowers, so I have no clue what that is. This was inspired by funky florals. It was an art class, but she did like a double spread, and so I kind of did my own, like my abstract doodles I normally do in all my abstracts, but then I did the flowers. This was this class, and we did poppies with her, and this was fun. I think I ended up doing I think it was like these kids pastel creamy markers or whatever they was, and it was really fun. I didn't do the lesson with this person, but the picture that they always have like under the person that's doing the class, a lot of times I like that picture a lot more than what actually they're teaching, so that's why I kind of did a doodle. This was another class I did, and I really liked how that turned out. I don't know if you could see how the sparkly watercolors was, but this was like a watercolor, oh, is it plein air? I don't know. Again, I liked how it turned out. The classes makes it a lot simpler. You're doing it as the person also doing it, and they just make it seem very simple. We had an artist come to the libraries, and there was little doodles that we did. I like my little crying onion. I might actually draw that again and turn it into a little sticker because it's so cute and have like little tiny one. And then this was a drawing. Okay, so we have exercise 1 and then the exercise 2. And my kids did it along with me, so we all 3 did it. My daughter's doodles, more of my daughter's doodles, my son's doodle. This was a art retreat by that person, and I think we had to think about if you're walking into the forest and you had to go over the bridge, what's something that, like, how do you, no, I think it's like you close your eyes, you see a body of water, how do you get on the other side? And you think about it, is the water maybe shallow that you could just walk across, or is there a bridge, or is it calm water that you could just swim across, or is it really rough water that you step in and it's gonna push you all the way to somewhere else? Like, so that was one exercise. 2 was you come up to a animal in the forest and you have, what do you do, or something. And I thought about a moose, and I have little sugar cubes because for some reason I had sugar cubes in my pockets for this exercise. Like, some of this stuff doesn't make sense. Number 3 was you came up to a cave, either a cave or you come up and there was an animal that I think you either can't pass or that you're afraid of or something. I don't know. Something that was in the cave, and I thought like big scary snakes. But then for number 2, since I fed him the sugar cubes, he followed us, and then he ended up killing the snakes and eating them. Like, some of this stuff didn't make sense. Number 4 was inside the cave, what did you find, or something? And I think I found just a whole, like a nest of snake eggs, I think. And I think that's why these was just so like guarding it so bad. Someone, like, so it could be good or bad. Like, it could have been like treasure. Like, it's whatever you think of. And someone said it was a person that could have been a good thing, not always a bad thing, and it could have been a bag of essentials to continue your trip. And I'm like, that is a good point. It didn't have to be a bad thing. It could have been a good thing. So that was like a fun little exercise. This was another art class of Art to Life. Some of these I never did this art classes before. Others I did like each year. It's been like second or third year I did. So this was how to make your art stronger. So it was like, if this is all the same, where, like, how your eyes gonna be able to go like to different areas, different design. How can you transform your art? So like, You don't want, like, don't put everything on one side and move it all around. So, like, you want it to kind of, like, make the people move their eyes. And you need a high contrast and low, and, like, we need both. So, like, something very loud and something very soft. And, like, this might be, like, I think the dark is the loud and light is, like, the soft type of thing. And, like, you have to have both. Values. Then you have the colors. And this was, I think all of that was just day 1, I think. I don't know, this one said day 2. I think I got mixed up. I think all of this was day 1, because this is day 2, unless this is for another art class, because I get confused with all the different ones. I see them, and if it's art, if it's free, and if it's around the art stuff that I'm gonna like, I kind of like signing up for them because it's something different. It gets me to use my art supplies up. Even if it's like the same stuff I already know, it's always fun to do something, and it doesn't cost hundreds of dollars, because there's some art classes that can be crazy expensive. These, let's see, upward spiral or downward spiral. I don't know what this is about. I think this is what this was almost about, how, like, the thought process, and if your mind says you can't do it, and fix your mindset. I think, I don't know, if you pause it, you can read it all if you're into it. This was workshop for this year, 2024. And I know, I think last time I tried showing you that, and I got all mixed up with where the first warm-up was. We had to write with both of our hands. Warm-up 2 was, you had pieces of paper you just ripped up, and then you saw what it looked like. It would look like a hand, a pot, and a fishing net. Well, it was a net that I made a little arm with, so a fishing net. Warm-up 3 was drawing hearts, and then you drew what came to mind. So this was a butterfly, sunflower, a clover or something, whatever it's called, balloon, just a little random heart person, fish, lion. And then you go to, I gotta make sure you guys are in still the view. This was a flower collage by this person. This one was like a little doodle with rolling a dice. This was also a warm-up, the last warm-up. This was drawing your summer. She drew this type of food that she ate. She had a different ice cream, but we've been buying a lot of fudgesicles, so I made them. We also ate a lot of strawberries and watermelon. I didn't draw watermelon though. And I drew the strawberries before she drew the strawberries, which was kind of funny. And then I think she got some flowers from the farmer's market or something, so she drew them. So these two I kind of like that we did do. These was from her lesson. This was a mixed media flower thing, which wasn't bad. It was fun. This was a flower illustration home. So like this could have been like your first page of your sketchbook. She makes the flowers look simple. Like drawing these, you would think they would be a little bit hard to draw, and she made them simple. And I really like these flowers and like them, which I think they're also the same, but I still like them. This was mixed media gift tags. I want to buy, actually, there's a hole punch thing that actually makes it look like a gift tag. I think that would be kind of cool to make for like gifts. And then with the gift tags, I also did bookmarks. And I don't know if you could also see some of the stuff that I used had like a shimmery color. I don't know. It looks pretty. I really like, I think it's between these two that I like. I think this was, let's see, does it say in the back? It doesn't. I think this was playful mixed media paintings. So these was oh, what's the paper? I can't think of the paper. And I just used ink and just made it random marks with it. And then I cut them up, like I ripped them up so it's not like a straight side, like straight side. And then we ended up just making some abstracts and doing it. I really like this one. This was more closer to her lesson though. That's probably why I liked it, because she made it. I like this one the second. This one, I don't know. It looks like it says B to me. And I don't know. I'm not a fan of that one. And then this lesson, they had a bottle. I didn't want to paint on a bottle, so I drew a bottle and she just drew some flowers on it. This one was a very fun class. This one was just flower doodles by this person. And you can always pause the video, get the people's names down, and look it up on Instagram if you want to follow them. This one was a fail, and I think I also talked about it in my other video. I think when I showed the whole workshop week classes. So I didn't have clear gesso, so I thought the Mod Podge would work. So I Mod Podged this whole thing, and I wasn't thinking about the brush strokes. And you can, I don't know if you could see the detail of the brush strokes, especially right here. I don't know if you could tell. And then I had, pastels. And I don't know if it was also because my pastels are a harder one and she had like a softer one, because it was a fail. Like, all of it just wasn't working. It was a lot of streaky. The pastels was going into the grooves where the paintbrush was. It was a fail, and I'm like, nope. Like, I'm already bad with the pastels. I cannot make like what other people did. And so now I kind of just use the pastels in my messy abstracts. But yeah, it was this one was fun, and you had to trust the process. I didn't have the exact color, so mine turned out a little bit darker than his. I think it was a person's. But I really liked how it turned out. Though, like, the eye could be kind of confusing because it kind of looks like it was your one eye, but the eyebrow doesn't match. It's whatever. But I still like it. This was a planner crafting pro, which I don't know. I think I only went on one day for it. But this was doodling your, like, each day of what you did that day. And I tried doing it. So was making gifts for a trip. We went to the park. I did some chalk drawings outside with the kids. My son was playing something. My daughter was trying to learn a bike. So I was like trying to doodle what we did that day. It wasn't bad. Okay, so this was another planner thing. It was planner trips for ADHD. It was making visual write it out twice. Vertical day plan, I think, made it what I think it helped her do it. And then color, and this was like the habits, my habits, like be constant. Then this was the kind of, I'm not gonna say it. I can't say it right now. This was, well, my second year I did it. This I actually had to bring on a trip. So I took this with me. And I had to use the supplies that I brought with me, which was a lot of just colored pencils, because I was also bringing in a adult coloring book to finish the page, because that was a challenge for that month and I wanted to get done. So a lot of this was done with pencils, and a lot of the lessons was done with watercolors or paints. So that was kind of a little challenge. It still turned out cute. Little dog is really adorable. I didn't do the project that this person did, but it was a free gift printable that she gave everyone, and I ended up drawing that. I ended up doing this class. This one I kind of did bits of her session, her lesson, because I didn't have like all the supplies that she did. So I did that. The little, I can't think of it right now. My brain is just, nope, it's Friday. Let's get to the weekend. This one, I don't know how I feel about it. Like, it's not bad when you quickly look at it, but when you keep looking at it, it's like, it's not the greatest. But it was my first time. I also had to use a water color pencil. So we had that, not the inks or paints that she did. And it was kind of like trying to do different colors from that. Like, so I might have, it's 2 different colors. So I maybe had 2 that was water soluble that I used. But other than that, it was kind of a little bit difficult. This was Summer Creative Retreat. I think this was my first time doing this one, and I had a very good time. I'm hoping to do it again next year. So this was flowers that she tried explaining, which I don't know if I actually got or not. But like the wind would blow, it'd be all one side, and she made it really simple. She did these, so I think she did paints. I did a paint marker and then a white pen, because the paint marker was a little bit too thick. And then I added a blue gel pen also. I colored that, and it's not bad. This was junk drawer of art tools, mark making. This was an idea that I had to do for a video. I had the shirts that I did. Like, there was a small short one. This one had like the long ones. It was like all the different ones I did make. This was the one I Mod Podged a single string, and it made it harder, so I was like, wasn't able to control it. That was fun. And I do want to try, I think, watering down black paints and see if it'd be almost like a ink consistency type of thing. That way, instead of doing ink, because ink can be expensive, I would do a craft paint, black paint. So that's another craft that I was thinking. But I wrote down different things that I wanted to try. This was just like bird sketches. This was a sketch and draw. I really like the flowers they did. This one, excuse me again, I don't know if you can hear me yawning or not. This one she used napkins. I didn't have any like decorative napkins on hand, so I remembered the tape trick. So that's what this was. This was just tape over a picture on a magazine, and it takes that off. So you wet it and scrub the back, and it keeps the image on the tape, and then you just do another piece of tape over top of it. That was something I also learned somewhere, I forget. But this was more what her lesson kind of looked. She took an old book page, and I forget what she did. I ended up just actually using a ink pad and coloring it, and then I ended up just doodling the flowers that she did, and then I drew this animal reference from this person, and I kind of made almost something similar to what she did. So this was fun. The markers I did, the paper did not like it. It started ripping and balling up. Excuse me again. This was fun. This was Zentangle, and I don't know if Neuro is almost like that or not, but it's, I don't know, something that it looks good, but it just always seems like, I don't know, it seems hard. Like these two, I never did that before, and I did it, and my brain did not want to know how this one worked at all. This one was fun, and that's what we ended up doing this for. And this could also be like a front cover of your sketchbook, and you could just write your name down and you could color it. This was drawing birds and mixed media. This was also a fun one just because of the animal drawings and being timed. I did the April's timed drawing that I did, the challenge, the 30-30, so 30 drawings in 30 minutes. We had a drawing each day. It was 1 and then 4 minutes and then 25 minutes to do the one drawing. So like the 1 minute was a warm up. 4, you kind of took a little bit more time seeing where the details was, and then the 25 minutes you actually took a little bit more time. It still went fast, but that was a challenge that I did, and them videos are also up on my channel, and I had a fun time. So this, when she said it was a timed like warm up, it was like, okay, well these are fun. I like the timed loose animal drawings. So I did, this was 2, this was 2, and these was 5 altogether. So like we did that, and then this was 5, and then this was 5. This I did with like highlighter. I think both of them was highlighters. And I was kind of using just all the supplies I had on my desk at the time. This was a negative space. This one I never did a negative space before. So we colored the background first without sketching or anything, like drawing out the animal first, but like you just painted it. So you had to think about how the animals was going to be, and then you added the details after. And that was fun. This was mixed media abstracts, and I ended up using different supplies on it. So this one I did the ink tints blocks and graph tints, extra large block. Well, that was also the extra large block also. For this, on top of um, watercolors, inks, and I had a art spray that is getting clogged up that doesn't actually work, so I mixed that with white paint, trying to use that up. Plus it's very messy. That was my first time having an art spray, and that thing is messy and stains my hands, and you have no clue where it's spraying at. This one was like Crayola markers. This one was the art graft blocks, and this was oil pastels, and I think it's like the backgrounds, and then like we had the watercolors, ink, and all that stuff on top. I think that's what it was. I don't know. This was the urban sketching cute cottages with Peggy Dean, and it was really cute. Like, I liked how she drew them. And I don't think this was quite the lesson that she did, but I think this was the picture of, like, above her name or whatever, and I liked that, so I did that. This was on Procreate, I think that's what it's called. But I just wanted to try using the sketchbook up, so I ended up just drawing what the lesson was, the art class. This, it was a hanging abstract thing, but I just glued it in here. And so you did the circles and then abstract, like the design, and then you cut them, and then you would hole punch them and hang them up. And I really liked the black and white one. This was one color with watercolor. So you have one color, and then you add more or less water to it. This was also a little bit challenging just because a lot of my colors seem to be all just one tone, like one just medium blue, and I tried so hard to make it like very light. I don't know, after all of it, I don't know, it turned out good. I tried making these very, very, very dark, so I kept going over it. It didn't turn out bad. But, this was challenge hour, and this challenge hours was very, very, very fun. So it started off with, let me try finding where it started off with. I think it started off with, it had ink blobs. So like it was little clips that you watched, and the clips had ink blobs come out, and you had to, what was the first thing you saw? So instead of doing the first thing I saw, I drew all the things that I saw. So I saw in the ink blob, it looked like an older lady that had like the fur little like scarf or whatever with the hair up. This one looked like a sunflower, like ink blobs. And this was, I think it was like a 30-second or a minute's little clip that kept playing. And these was all the different moments that I saw. Not all at once, just like moments. This one kind of looked like a snake blob. This one looked like a big nose, long chin guy. And this one looked like a pig. And then after that was done, we moved on to another one. And I think another one was, what shape are you thinking of? And I thought about a triangle. So I drew that in little triangles on the corners. And then it was, what's the color you're thinking about? And I was thinking about like the bluish greenish, like bluish green color. So I kind of colored that bluish and green. That was that color. And And then this one was this pig is walking in a place of, I think, what is your pig walking in? And I drew like never before seen flowers and mushrooms. And so these flowers, like, it was dark, and so the clip was just, what is this? Like, it had like a picture of a pig walking, nothing else. And the prompt was, what is the pig walking into or getting ready to walk into? And this is what's in my head. I was thinking, it's dark, and these flowers are like glowing. So like it's glowing. These are the leaves. This is the little flowers. It's glowing blue, purple, and orange. So the whole thing is like glowing. So that, like, the glow is like looking pretty cool. Almost like if you ever went to like a glow in the dark putt-putts or anything glow in the dark, how like different colors just makes it so pretty looking. That's what this pig was walking into. Like, very cool looking, like in my head, like I was seeing it. Then they had sunflower mushrooms. So it was mushrooms with little sunflowers. This was a death mushroom. You don't eat this. This was a jelly mushroom. This was a heart mushroom. I think this, you can like grind it up and you can make a, like, something that you can make somebody fall in love with you type of thing. This is a peanut mushroom. This was a turtle mushroom. This was a mystery. So you don't know if it was a good or bad mystery. And in this little mystery world or whatever, you can grind this mushroom up and this one to make a peanut butter and jelly mushroom sandwich, because like the little mushroom like stalk or whatever, you can cut up and that could be your bread. And then a next little exercise thing was this. It had this one person that looked like it had a shower cap on with like some pajamas or something, like sneaky walking into a library. And it was like, what is this person looking for? And I laughed because it's like late nights with snacks and drawing to not wake up the kids and hubby. So you're sneaking, like you're tiptoeing. You just got out of the shower, so you have your shower cap on because your hair is wet, but you don't want it dripping. So you put in a shower cap, and you just had like the long shower, like the women's long shower that you like shave your legs, you put your face like serums on, your lotions, you're all like feeling like $100 million, but you're not tired yet, and by everybody else is asleep, so you tiptoe, and you remember you have your orange soda that you like, and the chocolate covered potato chips, because why not? Because they sound good. And then your sketchbook, because you wanted to draw still, because you're not tired. And that's what it was like. And then the next one was what your name means, and mine means crown, so I gave my little pig a crown. It's like a fun little like challenge hour. Like, these, I wish that there'd be more of these ones. These ones was really fun. This was watercolor animals. I did this one, and then I also did the elephant. The elephant, I think, was either a picture or maybe on her Instagram. I forget where I found the elephant up, but I ended up doing that one just because I really liked it. Like, it looked simple enough to do it. I don't think I ever made an elephant drawing before, and I really wanted to, so that was fun. This one was, I think, just like a play thing. So I think she used either You could use a toilet paper roll or whatever to make like, the circles. Um, I think this was the little spray that was clogged mixed with water, mixed with white paint, I think, or maybe it was ink. I don't know, whatever I used. But this was fun. So you do a word. I put joy. So you wrote joy, 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 and then you made the little circles all around, and then you made lines going to it, and then you just doodled and colored. This was fun. This was a tea towel design, some little dogs. It was fun and cute. This was another challenge hour. This one, people picked the prompts, how long it was, the supplies, and all that stuff. I used what I had in hand. So somebody did, I think, a cube, and I made like an ice cube because I have a a card that I want to try making that I need to make an ice cube with. So I was trying to see if I can get the right color ice for that. No, I think number 2 was like the washi tape house. So you made that. I think you had 4 minutes to decorate this. You had 1 minute to make, like, I think fish. So I made little goldfish. This was a flower, so I made little 4-minute flowers. Someone said tacos, and she made a comment about flying tacos, and so I made the wings before she made the wings. And then someone said, I think, a UFO or something, so I did that with the little aliens, like, peace out, Earth, because it wants nothing to do with this Earth. This was a 3 minutes, like, little bird drawing. So this was fun also. And then this one was, I would say a top 5 of my classes that I did. I don't know, that was kind of hard. This whole, oh, what was it called? If I can find it. The summer creative retreats. This whole thing was fun. Like, every single thing that I did was fun. This was just little vases, and she made it simple, like the little flowers. She just made it simple and elegant, and I really liked it. Let's see the ends, but then we did some swatches of, I think, just watercolors. I don't think these are homemade watercolors. And then I did, of course, an abstract. And then now it's done. So that was the finished sketchbook. And now on, I'll probably do it just on my normal sketchbook instead of having a designated one. This is, again, like I said at the beginning, was my homemade paper, homemade sketchbook. I said it's the ugly sketchbook because I was watching I found this one Instagram person, and she's been having a sketchbook of just ugly paintings or art or whatever, and she just has fun. And I'm like, yes, that's what it is. Yep. But for sure it is an ugly one because my rant will begin. I have I think a video maybe on YouTube. I can't remember if I did it, or maybe it was my Instagram, that I was just wiping the sponge and it looks like a face. So that's the mouth, here's the nose, and the eyes are closed. I don't know if you guys can see that also or not. This was just playing around with paint. Not too bad. Okay. Then it gets to the downhill. So my neuro that I was doing, all good. The paper started going through and breaking because the pen, just the ink pen, normal ink pen. Then another doodle, and when you outline it, the paper almost falls off. Like, I could probably very lightly push and this whole piece would fall off because it's so thin. I did try doing another messy abstract or whatever, trying supplies, see whatever, and it made a hole. Like, just doodling with black pen, and it's just very, very thin. This paper, actually, it was so thin, I thought this was one piece. It was actually two pieces, and it ripped, and it was just very, very thin, fragile, and all that stuff. Just did another doodle again, went through, I don't know if you can see my hand or not, went through, and just at this point I'm like, I did all this work to make homemade paper and a homemade sketchbook. That was the whole thing I was trying to do. Saved all the kids' paperwork from school. I was gonna blend it. I have to soak it, like I have to shred it, soak it, blend it. Like, it was a whole process to make a homemade paper, and it's fun. And then to get these papers and it didn't turn out. It's like, I did all this work and it didn't work, and it was like, it kind of sucked. Did another sketchbook, another just doodle abstracts, who knows at this point. And just, I think this was a water soluble graphite or something, and even with that and a marker, the paper went through, and I'm like, seriously, this is how my face was, like, really, side eye, just everything. And at that point, homemade paper, fun to make but sucks to use. Like, that's how I felt at that moment. Just let me use this whole thing up just so I feel better. So this was like fun and ugly and just play, messy, like the ends. So this one, not so well. So I told my husband about it, and I told him how everything's pretty much going through. Like, you can't use anything without it breaking. And he's like, well, what about paint? So again, this is my messy, ugly abstracts. This, I made it a sketchbook before I even knew how terrible it was with anything else. Tried doing a messy abstract. Okay, not too bad. This paper is a little bit thicker. I'm like, okay, well, let's keep going. I was making homemade paints, and I use this to wipe my finger, or the spatula thing I was using, whatever it's called. And so you have some paints in the back, and then I just did some doodles, lines, shapes, whatever, over top. It was fun to do. Okay, not too bad. Paper didn't rip, whatever. Again, another paint I would white and then doodle over top. I don't know if you could see how glittery it is. It is really pretty. I like this one, and it didn't go through. At this point, I'm like, okay, I'm getting a little bit better. I could just make my sketchbooks only paint, like my paint abstracts in my sketchbook. So I did more messy abstracts, kind of just having fun, making marks, whatever. Okay, still good. At this point, it's like, okay, yep, I think that's what I'm going to do. Kind of like this one. This one's a chaoticness. Kind of limited also, trying the colors to the green marker, the black, I forget if it was black paint, maybe. I was trying to use up paint from another project. And then a silver marker. I did do some, like, very fine liners. And I'm like, okay. This I was trying to use up supplies I had. So I had, like, the red paint marker I think I made. I forget. It was in the other sketchbook. I tested it out. And I'm like, it's okay. I did go through to this page. This side, I think this side. Alright, I'm back. Not for sure if you heard the phone or not. Let's see. This one was like a thicker paper. So every time I make paper, it's not always the same. This started ripping right here, and it could be because I had just different supplies. The more you go over it, it just gets overworked. So this was a page I think I was using up. I had a marker that was almost done. I had another marker I was almost done. I'm trying to use this ink marker I made so I can maybe make another color, or just, I don't know. It's in a container that you can make markers, so I might wash it out and make my own paint marker. I don't know. We'll see. But so that went through, and then I had this ink that was drying out, so I was trying to like scrape it, and then I sprayed the water, and it kind of, I don't know, it didn't really do anything because I think the ink dried out. Probably needs thrown away. I did use the stencils I made on the crickets, and this was another paints I was using up. So a lot of just, when I make these like abstracts, a lot of them is like supplies that are very close to almost all the way used up, that I'm just playing around with them and trying to use. So this was just messy, chaotic abstracts. Again with this one, some more. At this point, I think I was just using what was on my table, and like this paint, I know the green one I was trying to use up. It's very, very close to being all the way done. I had some markers I'm also trying to use up. This was so I had some like gold and silver little flakes or something that I got from the resin kits that I'm not a fan of making. So I'm using all of them supplies in something else. So I did some Mod Podge and put the gold little flakes there, and I wanted to see how that looked in a abstract, and I think that's what I'm going to use them on. And then the little powders I use to make homemade paints, and then I have liquid colors to make like the resin colored. I'm actually mixing them with paints and also using it. Actually, I probably used that in some of these, probably. I forget. But this was the blue, I think Inktense block. And then I also busted out I think it's the creamy art crayons or whatever they're called. And there's just had fun. This was a art video that I did from YouTube, and this was just a flower, but how the flower was made me think of an eye. Plus I also watched Bun on YouTube, and so between another art video and her, I kind of mashed it and made this like little eye flower, and I don't hate it. This was like a thicker page too. And then this page was just in a bad shape. So I made this doodle abstract thing. This was kind of just whatever. Kind of looks like a bird. This was just using up the supplies. I had the graphite the water soluble graphite stick, and then I sprayed with water, so some of it like blurred, but then it also made some of the marker blur, and I kind of like that. And then that ended up going to this one, and I watched a video of this person just like scrubbing, not scrubbing, but the marker just all over, and then it bled to the next page, and you use that to see if he could see anything. And so I kind of did that, and I saw a big nosed guy with his hair like straight up type of thing. So I'm like, oh, that's fun, let's try again. And so I did it with another marker I'm trying to use up, and I saw a guy. Well, I think his eyes, like, or he's looking down. I think that's the eyebrows. And that's the nose. He has like a little mustache. And his ear. And then his head. And I'm like, I really like that. That was fun. And that was just scribbling with the marker. And then you see what comes to mind. Again, I scribbled this. But I did the 3-in-1 woody stick. And some like paint markers. And it kind of looks like a elephant. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but to me it kind of looks like an elephant. But that was both of my homemade sketchbooks. And on the line with homemade sketchbooks, I saw a video of someone using Aldi's bags for a sketchbook. And I have an art class coming up that's going to be doing a lot of like abstracts, and I'm thinking about using this and using the class and tune it in here. So I ended up, I don't know if you could see, but I cut all the bags, divided it, and then put them into 3 separate ones, stitched it, and then I tied all the stitches together, and then I duct taped them. So for each of them, I had to put a little duct tape because you could see this part. That's the only bad thing about that. But all the other pages is stitched. So I can either do individual, I could do a long abstract. On these pages, you could do an abstract and then fold it, and you can have another abstract. So I tried having one on like this side and some on this side that you just fold, abstract, fold. So this will be fun. I can't wait to use this. And this one will be my just ugly having fun sketchbook. Like, it doesn't have to be fun. It could be actually my ugly junk sketchbook if you want. I think another video that they did this, they used it for like collages. So that was another fun thing that I could probably do, is just tape a whole bunch of just pictures and collages and make it. And I don't know, I can't wait to see the finished thing of this book. But hope you like this talkative sketchbook tour, and hopefully it doesn't take weeks for my next video. And hope you have a good day. Bye. It's alright, I'll just cut all this out. It's fine.